ASMR. Hey, so, it will be Saturday by the time I post this, and, I know my mom grew up on, like, Saturday cartoons. I unfortunately did not. I was a little later, but I did grow up on VHS tapes. So for today, I thought, so I did a video on like my favorite childhood books. So for this video, I want to do my favorite childhood shows, I guess. Like, this is like adolescent, like this is like for a small child. This is like one of my like what I grew up with, and I really am loving these like poppy probiotic sodas. I can only get it here because at my college, because outside of my college these things are like hella expensive for no fucking reason. I mean, they probably have a reason, but it's like annoying me because I can't like afford that. So I have a whole list. I will put pictures up just in case if I didn't, just in case if you don't like know what this is. So I don't know if a lot of you would know what this is, because I grew up on like things my age or even older than me, so I'm not really sure. So one of my favorite like first shows when I came to America was The Big Comfy Couch. This TV show was actually created because that was the generation that just sat in front of the TV set like watching TV. So they wanted to do like play stuff on a couch, like, you know, play dolls, do like each time there was like this clock workout. It was actually really, I always did that. Like I did that once because like everyone who grew up on the comfy couch did want to like do the leg exercise. So I loved The Big Comfy Couch. I think my mom also put me on that because when I first came to America, I was petrified of clowns. I hated clowns. She took, I think there was this adoption like get together or something, and there was a clown. My mother is still trying to gaslight me that they were playing Duck Duck Goose. To this day, it was not Duck Duck Goose. The clown was violating this little boy by chasing him around in a circle. It was not Duck Duck Goose to me, and it still is not Duck Duck Goose. Like, I remember what I saw. The boy looked horrified. He looked so scared, and I still remember his face. So I refuse to believe that that was actually Duck Duck Goose. But my mom says it was Duck Duck Goose. I don't know if I believe it. So yeah. Also the Molly doll, that was one of my first Christmas presents ever in America, and I still have those two dolls, and I will probably never get rid of those two dolls. They are part of me now, so I still have those two dolls. So the next one will not really be a surprise. I grew up on Dora. I remember watching Dora, but it was not my favorite. It was just there. And the Dora I watched was just in English. I don't remember any Spanish or anything. Maybe there was Spanish, I don't know. But I think I just had the English one because in my adolescent years I was still trying to learn English. So, because I was learning one language, and then all of a sudden I was ripped away from that. Well, not ripped, but, you know, taken from that and put into a different environment, and forced to speak that language. So my brain was very confused. I remember how frustrated I was because nobody understood me. I was like, I thought I was speaking the language you people are speaking, but apparently not. So, I grew up on Dora. The next one, so I was a big PBS girl. it used to come on. Every time it was like, my mom did have like a TV. I don't remember. But I remember PBS Kids. I have no idea if they were like rewinds or something, but I don't think they were. I think they were like of that time. But anyway, Dinosaur Train. I loved Dinosaur Train so much. I loved dinosaurs. I thought it was like, I really liked it. It was funny. There was a tiny T-Rex that was apparently adopted by like a herbivore dinosaur. It didn't make any sense, but it was like really funny. So it's just about these dinosaurs on a train. I really don't remember much about it, but I remember loving it. I loved the pterodactyls. Yes, those I think at that time were like my favorite because they could fly and they could like do so much. I think yeah, pterodactyl was my was one of my all-time favorites dinosaurs at that time while watching. So I think another one was Word Girl. So for me, like my first all-time ever superhero was not Spider-Man. It wasn't Superman. It wasn't any of the Avengers. It was Word Girl. It was on PBS, I think, as well. And she was my all-time favorite because she I think she helped you with words. I'm guessing because of her name, Word Girl. I don't know, but I really cause to me, like, she was like the coolest thing I'd like ever saw, and she did help me like with learning English. So, and I liked her because she had powers. Again, this was like, for me, this was like my first superhero ever. So I think that's why I really liked her. So, Word Girl, my first superhero, and yeah, she is awesome to me still. So I think she recently ended. I'm not sure when they ended, but I think it was recently. So I think like I saw something on the news where like the show stopped, and I was like, I should have stopped way a long time ago because these shows were on TV in like 2009. Yeah, like that's how old I am. Another one that I grew up on was Arthur. I think everyone my age has at least watched one episode. I think everyone my age has at least watched one episode of Arthur. I loved Arthur. I think for me, my favorite character was DW, Arthur's little sister. To me, she was so funny. She was so cute. I loved that she wore pink. I was a huge, like, pink girl when I was growing up. I was obsessed with pink, like, constantly obsessed with pink. So, there's a snowstorm happening right outside. So, I'm just, like, watching this horrific snowstorm. It's, like, Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. God, I don't even know what day it is. It is Tuesday. I'm filming this on Tuesday, but I'm not gonna post it until Saturday. So anyway, yeah, I grew up on Arthur. Loved, my favorite character was DW. I loved how sassy and angry she could be. She just reminded me of so much of myself. So okay, Clifford the big red dog. I love dogs. Dogs are like my all-time favorite over cats. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of cats for many reasons. So Clifford the big red dog, loved him. I loved watching about him. It's just the idea of a humongous ass red dog. Love that. So I grew up on Clifford the big red dog. Okay, I gotta get through these fast because it's already taking a long time. Okay, so Sesame Street. I grew up on Sesame Street. I think I have no idea who was my favorite. I think because right now my favorite are the two old men, but those are Muppets, not characters on Sesame Street. I think it was when I was younger. It was the little pink fairy with like the two pom poms. I'll have a picture of. She was like a fairy. I think that one was my favorite when I was growing up. I think. Um, Curious George. I was obsessed with Curious George. I loved monkeys. He was like the cutest to me, and I loved the idea of a big, like a guy with a yellow hat who took in a monkey who lived in New York, had a monkey in his high-rise apartment. It was just like a funny thought for me. So, loved Curious George. I actually have a couple of Curious George books. Loved that. And it was still on air when I was a kid. I don't even think any of these, if they are, I would be really surprised if any of these are still on. Magic School Bus. Magic School Bus for me was like very educational because it taught you a lot about things, and like a classroom setting still, with funny characters. So I loved Miss Frizzle. I think that was her name. And then the guy with the guy with the orange hair with the glasses. It was like every time he was like, "Let's not do it. Let's not do this." He is like the funniest to me. Those two were my favorite, Miss Frizzle and the boy. They're like polar opposites of each other. He was like, "I don't want to do this shit." Martha Speaks. That was I loved Martha Speaks because that was about a dog who had some cereal, or no, had some like, it was like dog food that was shaped in letters, or was it like tomato soup, or was it, I think it was like soup. Martha got some soup with letters in it, like the soup letters, and all of a sudden she could speak. I thought that was like the cutest idea ever. So I loved Martha Speaks. I loved anything with the dogs in it because I love dogs. So let's see. The other PBS. This was a PBS kid. I don't know about the others, but the last PBS. Well, I don't know. I loved Sid the Science Kid. Loved that. So Sid the Science Kid. I really don't remember much. I remember how funny he looked to me. I don't know. He was really funny. So I actually don't remember much about him. I just remember him. I don't even remember one episode. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like, and I did grow up on Sid the Science Kid. So word world. This is where everything in the world is words. Like they're words smushed together, elongated or something to make like a barn, an animal, like anything was like in words. And this was actually very helpful for me growing up because this was a way for you to memorize how to spell simple words like barn. Like the barn would have like, I'll show pictures. The barn would like be spelled out as barn but still look like a barn. So it's very helpful for kids who have a hard time visualizing the spelling for words. It's actually, I think, word world is actually very good, and I don't think it's on air anymore, which is unfortunate because it's actually very good for kids to learn how to spell words, in my opinion. Okay, Angelina Ballerina. Yep, Angelina Ballerina. So I liked Angelina Ballerina because she was in ballet. She was a ballerina, obviously, and I think she was a mouse. So it's like this whole thing about mouse, you know. She has ballet classes and like it's like, you know, goes through her struggles. I think as like a ballerina. So I liked her a lot, as well as because I also took ballet when I was very young. So I kind of like, you know, I kind of found similarities with her and me. She was a much better ballerina than I ever was. So this is another PBS kid. It's called Super Y. It's like these fairy tale creatures help each other out with problems or something. I still don't remember exactly what it was. I just remember I liked the princess, the one with the tiara. Yep. So, surprise, but I loved My Little Pony. I still have no idea which one was my favorite, Applejack or Rainbow Dash. I still have no idea what or who my favorite one is. So yeah, I went a question. I can't even fucking pronounce it. When they transform into humans, it was like a different. They had like movies, and I loved when they like transformed into, I don't know, human form. Those were my favorite. And then I hated the fourth or the fifth one, where like the original Twilight didn't come back into the world. It was just the Twilight that was already there. I did not like that. I was like, okay, I'm bored. I think, yeah, it was just, I kind of didn't like it. But anyway, side rant. I do not like the new My Little Pony, the Generation 3. I hate it. I don't like it. It's stupid. I like my 2D animation. That is the real one for me. Anyway, the last and final one that I grew up on was Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is like this British show about this guy who doesn't say much, doesn't do much, he just enjoys life. And it is actually very nice because they don't really speak much, and a majority of his episodes is just him doing gestures and stuff, so you don't even need to know English to really be able to understand what's going on, because a lot of his performance is through his actions. So yeah, those are, I think, everything that I grew up on. And I would probably say, out of all of them, the big comfy couch is my all-time favorite because I love that so much. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a warm and peaceful weekend, or the rest of your weekend. And thank you so much for watching. Good night. Good night. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button and make sure to subscribe and click that notification button.